What's going on, investors? Been a while since I've made a Q&A video, but I wanted to make another one today just to show you guys a little bit more behind the scenes. Now, these responses are going to be pretty detailed and pretty deep, so I have included timestamps in case you want to just be able to jump around, or if you just get bored of my responses, totally understandable. And to make it even more fun, between each question I'll either talk about or show a few stocks in my portfolio. The portfolio has just blown past the six-figure mark, up to $105,000. Now remember, I talk about stocks that I'm buying and the gains that I've been making in the market all the time, so you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. Make sure you're subscribed and be sure to hit that like button so this video does well in the algorithm, and let's get started. So the first question actually comes from Alex, or Blood Phantom 81, and he asked, what is my ideal vacation? Well, I just went on a fantastic vacation to Las Vegas, and I'd definitely say I want to go somewhere hot and more entertainment focused, more than just the natural beauty. I'd rather remember experiences, and I feel like views can get old after a while. Plus, I want to keep my chances of getting attacked by animals as low as possible. You probably won't get too many grizzly bears attacking me if I went somewhere like Miami, Florida, but you always have to keep your eye out for a wild Florida man instead. Now, a stock that's done really good this past month is Starbucks, now up to $118 a share. I currently own almost $2,000 in equity of them. I'm up $550 or 46% on my investment. Now, Starbucks actually plans on opening 1,100 more stores this year alone. The vast majority of those stores will be opened up in China, and don't worry about lagging sales. Their most recent quarter was actually a record-breaking quarter in sales, so Starbucks is definitely back. The next question comes from Ryan Giffen, who asked, when do I hope to achieve FIRE or financial independence, retire early? Now, I'm really hoping by the time I reach 40 years old, I will no longer need to work a 9-to-5 job. That's about 15 years from now. Now, one of the best decisions you can ever make is starting your investing journey very young. That way, the interest you make from your investments starts to make interest, and money really starts to work for you. I'd say it also really helps that I'm a minimalist, good at budgeting, and I really try to live below my means. Of course, I like to keep my mind sharp, so even working part-time just for fun is something I would definitely entertain. By the time I reach FIRE, I'm hoping to use my dividend cash flow to pay for all expenses, and I'll tell them to just put it on my Visa credit card. Now, Visa has had $2.4 trillion in purchase volume this past quarter, and their CFO actually said that this was the strongest quarter since C19 first started, but the company is not even fully recovered, and it's likely to see more growth ahead. Now, Visa is already the leading payment card facilitator in the United States. They just passed a $500 billion market cap, and Visa is one of the largest positions in my portfolio at around $3,000 in equity, and I have a blistering 34% return on them. Now, the next question comes from Andre, who's a longtime subscriber of this channel, and he's asking me, what is my favorite movie? Now, much like every question I answer, I have to make this overly complex, and I'm going to give multiple answers. Now, I'd say my favorite comedy is Talladega Nights, because if you ain't first, you're last. I do typically like movies that really make you think about life and reconsider how you live it. The first movie is called The Butterfly Effect, and it stars Ashton Kutcher. Now, the butterfly effect is a phenomenon where even a small decision could really have a rampant impact on the lives that we live today, and they can have large impacts on the future. For example, if you wear a blue shirt or a red shirt tomorrow, that could potentially alter who your life partner is one day, or how many kids you have. You even spending the time to watch this video has potentially altered the future forever. I guess we'll just never know. Now, in this particular movie, Ashton Kutcher's character has the power to go back in time as a child. He finds out that even making small changes as a kid has enormous impacts in his life as an adult, and also his friend group that he hangs out with as a kid. Now, this is often in very, very negative ways. Now, this film is very graphic. I certainly would not watch this with any kids around, but I do think that the message that it conveys is very important. Every day of our lives, we're making decisions that impact society and our well-being. In investing, us finding the next Google today could make such a difference of us being millionaires in the next 15 years, or choosing a bad investment, we could potentially be paying that price for years to come. Now, another movie that's really resonated with me is called The Truman Show, and this stars Jim Carrey. In this movie, Jim Carrey's character's entire life has been spent on an island that has been part of a TV show where every other character is in on the act but Jim. He's the only one that doesn't realize that it's a TV show. Everyone else he encounters since birth has been a paid actor, and other people around the world watch this TV show in Jim's world on hidden cameras. As an adult, Jim's character finally starts to be suspicious, and he starts to figure out that things aren't always what they seem to be. The reason why I really like this movie is that it touches on a lot of topics that I think are very relevant in the life that we live today, such as if our lives are in some sort of simulation. As someone who's always been very skeptical about the narratives and messages that are being spewed on mainstream news, I feel like this movie really made me wonder, what is really fact or fiction? I mean, 90% of all media is owned by just 6 companies. And personally, a lot of the events that have happened in the world in these past 2 years just have me questioning life a little bit. Whether that's the civil unrest, politics, everything about the origins of C19, to how people have behaved from it, lockdowns, who has profited from C19 and who hasn't, it really just makes me wonder. So that's a really long-winded answer, I know. I have wanted to make videos about deeper conversation topics, about things like this, but it's really hard to do when so much of this channel is really just focused on investing, and I don't know how popular that might be, but if you think it would be popular, please let me know in the comments below, and if you're enjoying this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Now, solely for time purposes, let's just move on to the next question, which comes from Marie, who asks if I am single. Now, the short answer to this is yes, I am definitely very single. But this question gets even juicier when Certified Finest said, what is the yield on cost of having a girlfriend, which really made me laugh. Now, I definitely think that being single most of my adult life, without a doubt, has been beneficial, at least from a financial standpoint. I mean, when you're in a relationship, that's not only a lot of money that you have to spend on dates, presents, vacations, but also a lot of time. Time that I often spent learning more about investing, research, focusing on my career, making YouTube videos, working out, etc. I do, to an extent, practice some of the lifestyle of a 5-letter acronym that I can't say here on YouTube, but it starts with an M. Now, obviously, people take this lifestyle to an extreme, and many of its philosophies I personally don't agree with, but one that I really think is really important is that people, before getting into relationships, should focus on being the best possible version of themselves. Often I see a lot of my fellow friends feeling like they need to first find somebody before they accomplish whatever it is that they want to achieve in life. They spend so much of their time and money chasing girls or chasing men, when those resources can better be invested into themselves. Ultimately, the 2 biggest things that will impact financial success in life is who your life partner is, and if their goals align with yours, and the second is what age you decide to have children. By deferring these possibly a little bit further into life, I've been able to get to 6 figures a lot quicker than a lot of my peers who chose to have relationships and or kids much sooner. And that's not to say that one is necessarily a better choice than the other. There's certainly a lot of pros to having the family life as well. Now, divorce unfortunately happens with about 1 of every 2 marriages in the United States these days. And really, that means splitting your assets in half too in the eyes of the government. So that $100,000 portfolio, sorry, it's now just $50,000. Often when I'm working from home, I do have some of my favorite relationship YouTube channels playing in the background. A few of the ones I listen to are the Roommates podcast. Now, this one is more of a men's podcast that talks about men's issues that are primarily about dating. Another one I watch is called the Fresh and Fit podcast. Now, this one is interesting because they have a panel of women who come on the show, and together they all just really discuss how toxic dating has become in the age of social media and dating apps. The third one I like to listen to is actually a female named Courtney Ryan, and she does a really good job of giving dating advice from a women's perspective. So if you listen to any one of these, which I know for sure some of you do based on prior interactions, please let me know in the comments below, and I'd love to talk about it together. I understand this was definitely a deeper video and something a little bit different, but I have been meaning to make videos like this that aren't always investing related. Let me know if these are the type of videos that you would like to see from time to time. Now, I'd love to hear what you have to say about my answers or about what your favorite movies are, or if you're single, and what you think about today's dating environment in the comments below. Now make sure you've hit that like button and you're subscribed, and I will catch you next time.